Okay guys, so I got the bolt off at the bottom, and you got all your 12mm, but well, still got that one, but still. Get all your bolts off right here, and try to pull it forward. You see, you can pull it forward a little bit, but this one actually has the mount on it. Usually when somebody does extensive work, if it's a shade tree mechanic or whatever, they will just leave that mount off of it. But let me go down here and I'll show you exactly. And that's, don't get discouraged by this, because doing the exhaust manifold is the most time consuming part of this job. And you know, you can get through it in 15 minutes, and that's the reason you want to have it, you know, up on something so you can get under the car. But let me show you what I'm talking about here. So right now, well, this camera's good, but it's not that fucking good. Alright, so of course you see you got your exhaust here, and you go back right there, you have those two bolts, and if you take those two bolts, you could pretty much pull it forward and slide the exhaust manifold off of there, or you could go the route of just taking out these 1, 2, you can't see it, but anyway, 3 bolts. You can take that completely out and pull it off that way. I'm gonna just take these 2 screws out of here, pull the exhaust forward, and take it off the head. So like I said, this is the most time consuming part of it. Once you get past this, it's pretty much, you know, smooth sailing from here on. So remove these bolts, or remove these bolts, and we'll take the exhaust manifold off. Alright. Okay guys, words to the wise. Let me go back under the car here. I'll show you something. You might as well do something else while you're down here. Now, of course, this is hard to do. Those are the mounts right there for the exhaust that I told you to, you know, take off. If you go and you follow that all the way up there, let me see if I can get it glowing here. Well, you see that little mount there? You see there's your oil filter right beside there. That's a mount that goes to the block up to your intake manifold up there on top. Now you want to take both of those bolts off, and that will be the last time you got to be under the car. But you know, this actually goes down and mounts to this, so while you're down here, just go ahead and remove that bolt there, that one right there, and that bolt up there on top. I can barely get it. So go ahead and remove both of those bolts while you're under the car. Okay, so we got the mounts off at the bottom, the intake mount that goes on the back of the on the bottom of the intake manifold, and also the one that goes to the exhaust. So right now you should be able to come up here, just grab this, pull it forward and pull it down. It's going to fall down a little bit. You just want to let it hang there. So the next thing you want to do, and this is where it starts getting, you know, a little bit more simpler. Let me grab, where the hell is my screwdriver light? I don't fucking know. Alright, next thing you want to do is start unplugging this stuff here. Now, you have this here, and all these are just, you know, click-in type, what do you call it, sensor mounts, or sensor connectors. So you want to pull this one off, you want to pull this little small one off there, and also you want to disconnect this one, that's the distributor one. You want to disconnect that, and get over here on the back. So there's one little tricky hose back here that you gotta take off also. Now you don't have to take the lower radiator hose, you don't have to disconnect that, but there is a hose that goes to your head. You see that hose right there? You want to disconnect that hose from the head itself. So You want to take all your connectors off. You don't want to pull out your distributor. That's the biggest reason of doing it this way, is not having to pull out your distributor and reset and all that stuff. So you want to take the connectors off and then take the holes off the back side, and then we'll there we go. Then we'll see what's next. Okay guys, so we've got everything disconnected here, the two little plugs. We got the distributor plug disconnected, and the little holes that I was showing you on the very bottom of the distributor. Next thing you want to do, and by the way, you can see right here, intake manifold, exhaust manifold gasket's metal. It still looks like it's in good condition, so I can definitely reuse this. And like I said, the only one that you're really wanting to worry about is the intake manifold. So the next thing you want to do is you want to come over to this side here, and you see those little screws? There is one there, two there, two here. There's one on the other side over here on the bottom, and you got one little fucking screw, which is a pain in the ass to kind of get to. It is, see if I can even see it. It is right there. That one's a kind of pain in the ass. You want to get a small ratchet with a short socket, and you should be able to get to it no problem. So what you're going to do is you're going to disconnect, or not disconnect, I'm sorry. Fucking light here is fucking up. But you want to take all of the screws out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts. You want to just disconnect all of those bolts, and after that, your intake manifold should just slide right back. You already took the mount off on the bottom. There's nothing holding it there, so it should slide back just enough to clear the entire head and studs. So let me do that, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so what you're going to do now is once you get all your bolts off, you can actually pull the entire intake manifold, injectors, everything. You don't have to unplug anything from the intake. You can pull it back. You want to pull it back so that it clears all of this. Now I secured it on this side with a zip tie, and this side with a piece of wire. You just want to make sure it's pushed back far enough that it's not gonna hit any of these bolts when you actually pull the head up off here. So bear with me guys, we're almost done. There's only one more step to this, and it's probably the most important step. Next thing you want to do is come over here, and you've got one here, and you've got one, let's see if I can zoom in, right there on that side. You want to remove both of those bolts, and you want to pull off the, zoom out here, pull off the timing cover.